Well, this is the biggest interview I've ever done. Big company called Market Scale interviewed me. I thought some of you might like to see it, so grab a beer, kick back, relax, and watch this.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Talkin Shop with Walbro. I'm your host, Tyler Kern. Thanks so much for joining me for this very exciting episode of the program. Today we have an amazing guest. His name is Steve McColman. He's the host of Steve's Small Engine Saloon, and he's joining us for this episode of the show. Steve, welcome to Talkin Shop with Walbro. Thanks for joining us, man.
I am really excited to be here, Tyler. It's nice to meet you, and I'm looking forward to this too. I know we're going to be talking a lot about Walbro and a lot about the small engine industry in general, and maybe a little bit about my YouTube channel. This is cool. I think this is going to be fun. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Hey, I'm thrilled to have you on, and you're right. This is going to be a lot of fun, and we are going to talk Walbro. We're going to talk about your YouTube channel, all of the above. And so let's start off there with the YouTube channel, Steve. You have 394,000 subscribers as of this morning. That'll probably go up by the time this video, this broadcast is over. So tell us the story of how you got started with your YouTube channel. What was the genesis of this whole thing, man?
I think there was a lot of different reasons what pushed me to actually start a YouTube channel. I think the last thing that actually pushed me over the edge, like the last straw, was I was YouTubing something on a weed eater. I clicked on this video and it was this 13-year-old boy. You could tell from his voice, and he was doing a video on a little green weed eater, and he was holding his phone like, not even like this properly, but he was like that, so there was just a strip in the middle of the screen, you know what I mean?
Right.
And he's filming it with one hand, it's all shaky, and then he's got a screwdriver in the other hand, and he's going, all you got to do is just turn this screw right here. I knew what he was doing, and I still couldn't follow his video. It was horrible. It was
Oh,
dark, there was no close-ups, you couldn't see what he was doing at all. And I looked underneath that video, and it was 17,000 views he had. And I went into the house and showed my wife. I said, look at this video. This kid has 17,000 views. I can do a way better video than that. How many views will I get? I want to make a YouTube video. I want to put a YouTube video out there. My wife just looked up at me and said, giddy up. You go, boy. Just like that. She has been supportive from day one. And that's the last straw right there, what made me actually start digging around my garage and trying to set up a little studio, and you got a camera, and I went, I'm doing this. And that's why I made my first video. Yeah.
That's incredible. I mean, that's what an amazing beginning to this story. And I
Yeah.
wonder, just from your perspective, what does the success that you've had with this channel really tell you about people's hunger and desire for the kind of content that you're producing in this particular industry? It seems like this was maybe an underserved spot in the market where people were hungry and needed some content and needed some of the stuff that you're producing.
There are very few YouTubers out there that actually do the content that I do. Tons and tons of automotive mechanics out there, but very few people who actually show you, with 30 years experience too. I've been a small engine mechanic since 1987. I think there's a lot of people out there who want to know how to fix their own lawnmowers and weed eaters and chainsaws and leaf blowers and all that kind of stuff to save
Hmm.
money. That's what I've been doing. That's my whole goal when I started this also, was to help people save money, and frustration and time. You take your lawnmower in at this time of year right now, because your lawnmower doesn't run, you're going to be waiting 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe, to get your lawnmower back. And then it could be a simple problem, and now you're paying $120 finally to get your lawnmower back. So you're frustrated, and you lost all that time. Your grass is 10 feet tall now because you haven't had your lawnmower for a month. So I think the hunger and the desire part there is people wanting to save money and do this themselves. Oh, and the satisfaction thing. I mean, it feels
Sure.
so good to people when they can actually look at a YouTube video and go, hey, I think that's what's wrong with my unit. And they go outside and they fix it. the sense of satisfaction there is incredible. I get comments like that every day on my videos where people are just like, I can't believe how good that felt. I fixed that thing in 15 minutes and it cost me nothing.
Right.
Thank you, Steve. I just get those comments every day, all day long. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. If I fix one thing, my wife will hear about it for the next like 3 months straight, right? Just because
That's
I'm
right.
so there's that sense of accomplishment and
Yeah.
pride in I did it with these hands.
Yep.
There's something amazing about that.
Yep.
You're absolutely right. And I wonder just if you've noticed at all, just from your perspective and from what you do, if you've noticed that over the last year, with people spending more time at home because of the pandemic, with people maybe doing more projects on their own at their home, that has had an impact, and you've seen maybe a spike in people that are interested in learning how to fix things themselves and do things at home on their own.
There is absolutely a spike in 2020. My views and my subscribers really exploded as soon as that pandemic hit.
Hmm.
People were scared to go into a shop. They didn't want to take their lawnmower into a shop. They just didn't want to go outside. And then I think people started saying, hey, you know what? Maybe I can fix this myself. And they
Right.
start Googling and they start YouTube searching, looking for videos. And it, I kind of feel bad for saying that the pandemic kind of helped my business because I know there's so many people out there who have lost their jobs and lost their businesses. And then here I am saying, well, the pandemic was great for my business. A lot of
Mm.
people are going, it's not very cool, Steve, you know, but
But
it is
yeah.
what it is. And I think that's why, because people didn't want to go into take their mower chainsaw or whatever into a shop, and they just Google it now. I think most YouTubers in this industry, even the automotive industry or whatever, I think most YouTubers probably did see an increase,
Mm.
no matter what niche or genre they're in. I think they've probably all seen a spike there, like you said.
Yeah, and I think as much as of it was fear, there's also on the other side just I was spending more time at home than maybe I'd ever spent in my entire life, and so I started looking around and saying, "All right, there are things I can do here." My wife was doing the same thing, saying, "Hey, you know what? You could do that. You could do that. While we're home more often, why don't we make the yard look better and that sort of
Yeah,
thing?" So I think
awesome.
the pandemic had my honey-do list being longer than maybe it had ever been before. So
I
I
think
think there's probably a
everybody's
little bit
is.
of that.
Like everybody's honey-do list is longer. Even now, it's kind of tapering off a little bit now,
It's true.
but yeah, I agree with you 100%.
So, what impact has maybe the pandemic had on the industry as a whole over the last year? Have you seen shifts in the market or trends as a result of maybe what we've seen going on in the world over the last 14, 16 months?
Because of the pandemic,
Yeah, yeah.
as a whole, I don't think that you can really say it's affected the industry as a whole,
Hmm.
because there are small engine shops all over the planet. I think it depends, um, where that small engine shop is on the planet. Like where I live on Vancouver Island, there's two main. Where I live in Nanaimo, right in central Vancouver Island, there's two main shops that are small engine shops that you can get
Hmm.
your equipment repaired. Where I live, I don't think it's affected them at all, and if it has, for the better or for the worse, I think it's been very minor. It's pretty much the same. But you go to other places on the planet that the pandemic has hit harder, and those some of those small engine shops have shut down because they're done. The country's locked down or whatever. You're not allowed to go outside, curfew and all that stuff. Those businesses are gone.
Right.
So I think it really depends how it's affected. The pandemic has affected this industry. I think it really depends on where you live and what part of the world you live in.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I wonder, have you seen any innovations recently or new products that stand out to you as being particularly interesting for one reason or another?
In the industry, well, Walbro, I've done a couple of videos now for some Walbro products that they're bringing out. Innovative, is that what you just said? I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that word. I love that. I was kind of thinking this is a new invention. that and it kind of was. I mean, the things that they're putting out is kind of a new invention, very innovative. The two that strike me as the most are just happen to be from Walbro are their spiral diaphragm, their metering diaphragm that you can replace in your carburetor to make it. Hey, there's a lot of carburetors out there. Walbro or Walbro's competition doesn't matter. They're all made out of the same kind of material. This older, you see that a lot of people are going to recognize that right there. It's
Right.
an old school diaphragm.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that? It's all hard and crispy. You can hear that.
Yeah.
A lot of people have to change that in their carburetor every 2 years. Some people have to change that in their carburetor depending on the fuel quality where they live. Change that little diaphragm every year.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them are
Wow.
taking them into a small engine shop. They can't do it themselves, and it'll cost them money. What does Walbro do? They put out a solution to that innovative little spiral diaphragm kit right here that you can change that metering diaphragm, and that's the last one that you'll ever have to put in your carburetor ever again.
So what's
What
interesting
kind of
about
company
that?
does that, Tyler?
Yeah,
What kind
that's
of a company does that? Every other company on the planet builds parts to fail on purpose so they can sell more parts. Walbro is doing the exact opposite. They're helping the end user, the homeowner, the consumer of that product. They're helping them save money and frustration and time. Yeah.
See, that is really unique to me. How different is that than the rest of the industry? You said every other company designs parts so that eventually they wear out and you have to replace them and you got to go buy more and that sort of thing. So is this entirely unique? Is anybody else doing stuff like that?
No, this is entirely unique to Walbro. And then after that, so the guy who sent me, it's Mike Patullo is one of the head engineers at
Mm-hmm.
Walbro. He just out of the blue sent me a box full of samples of those spiral diaphragm kits, and he also sent me some of these new little purge bulbs, which is another innovative thing that they're doing
Right.
because the old purge bulbs they crack. They're the UV light from the sun deteriorates them. The ethanol in the fuel deteriorates those, and they crack after a while. And you have to replace those all the time, also.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Walbro's putting out these ethanol resistant and UV resistant purge bulbs now to also help people. So no, there's no other company out there doing this. That is 100% unique to Walbro that I am aware of. I don't know of any other company. Yeah.
Well, and I think that what you do and what Walbro is doing kind of goes hand in hand. People go to your channel because you provide information and knowledge that people trust, and people say, "Hey, look, Steve gives me the right information that I need to get, to get the job done." And then with Walbro also, they want to be a company that people trust, that people go to, and they say, "Hey, look, Walbro cares about me as a consumer more than they care about selling a bunch of these particular parts," right? And so I think that trust aspect is really important when it comes to this whole industry because, like you mentioned, people want to be able to do this for themselves and feel accomplished, right? And so I think that trust aspect is a big thing.
That's huge. Since I put those videos out, the comments that I get on both of those videos, I did one for the spiral diaphragm kit, and then I did another one for the purge bulbs. Both of those videos are still getting hit like crazy, and the comments that come through on that are pretty much all the same. Comments are Walbro's awesome. That's their attitude. People agree with me. They're like, I can't believe this company is doing this. It's awesome what they're doing. Yeah.
It really is fantastic and really exciting to see in the industry. So, Steve, the YouTube channel is obviously having a ton of success. I'm sure that you'll be over 400,000 subscribers very, very soon. What's next for the channel? Do you have any grand plans, master plans for new content, new videos? Just give us an update. What's coming down the pipeline?
I'm always doing what I call. I'm always trying to evolve my channel.
Mm-hmm.
Make it better. I don't want it to be stagnant. I don't want to just keep doing what I'm doing. I want to do different things, maybe go on more field trips. I call them field trips, like get out from behind this bench right here and take people out with my camera, cut some trees down, something like that. Go to a landscaping company and have them show us out in the field how they do something with a lawnmower, things like that. Make it
Right.
a little bit more interesting for my viewers. Always trying to evolve it. As far as my videos go, I just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Just, time of the year, right now it's a lawnmower season. I really should be putting lawnmower repair videos out now. It'd be kind of silly for me to put a leaf blower video out right now because there's no leaves on the ground. It's,
Right.
so you kind of got to do that. So I just keep plugging away. I do kind of have a little bit of a dream, Tyler. I have a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit of a dream to evolve my channel. I've always wanted to have an actual celebrity as a guest star.
Ooh. Who would be your ideal celebrity that you'd
I
love to
don't
have on the
know.
the channel?
I think it would be a wicked, awesome video if I had a celebrity standing beside me and where I'm not fixing it, I'm just telling them how to fix it, and they are doing it with their own two hands as I'm describing to it. So it can kind of show my viewers, hey, this is pretty easy. This person's never touched a lawnmower in their life, and this is how easy this is. They're going to fix this right in front of you.
You know,
There are. I mean, I live in Vancouver. Vancouver is a film. Well, I live on Vancouver Island, but the city of Vancouver on the mainland is a real film industry. It's like LA. It's like the Canadian Los Angeles.
right. Well,
There's actual studios there and everything. So there's a lot of celebrities that live really close to me. I think it might have it. I know I might be probably dreaming, but be, it's feasible. It's feasible.
Ryan Reynolds is Canadian, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
could probably get him to swing over, or you could come down to Texas and get McConaughey. I think that would be
Right on. Isn't he going
I
to be the next governor?
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? You could say that you had a movie star and future governor of Texas
Yeah, yeah,
on the
exactly.
Steve Small Engine Saloon.
Yeah,
That would be something.
yeah. I think it would be really neat. I think if I'm not saying like a big like Matthew McConaughey or Tom Cruise or something like that. I'm not going crazy like that, but even minor celebrities that are from around here.
I love the idea. I
Yeah,
love the idea. Let me know. I'll try to track someone down for you. I don't know too many famous people, but
maybe
we'll
you
figure
can come
something out.
over. You're a
Oh
big
yeah.
time celebrity, aren't you? There you go.
Man, that I mean, I think that would be especially challenging for you, given my track record as a handyman. So,
Oh,
if you want a challenge,
yeah.
bring me on, and we'll do this.
Have the first aid kit handy right
Yeah,
there while you're yeah.
I think that'd be wise. I think that'd be wise. So Steve, if somebody is looking at creating content like what you do, maybe not in the same area, small engines and things along those lines, but if someone sees your success and they say, "Man, I want to follow what Steve is doing, and I want to do similar things in my own area of expertise," what kind of advice would you give them? How would you steer them and tell them to take their first steps into making a YouTube channel and being successful like you've been?
Uh, the very first thing that comes to mind is that you will not have a successful YouTube channel unless you research.
Mm,
You have to put time in. You can't just put a channel out and have great videos. You can have the most awesome videos ever, but if people don't click on that video and watch it, they will never know. You have to um, myself, I've spent hundreds of hours researching and watching other YouTubers. There's a couple YouTube gurus out there who teach on YouTube how to do YouTube. And I've watched hundreds of hours of that kind of thing and researched and not only that, you can learn all you want, but you have to implement that. Those ideas, people are these gurus are telling you this is how you're going to make a successful YouTube channel. You have to implement their ideas. Do it. Don't just
right.
read it and go, oh, that's a good idea, and then you don't do anything about it. I think that's one of the biggest reasons that Steve Small Engine Saloon is actually as successful as it is because of the research and the time that we have put in. My wife and I have put in time, like unbelievable amount of time, literally hundreds and hundreds of hours
Yeah.
to try to make our channel better, and it seems to be working. Yeah.
I I would say so. And I think that there's also something to say for you just being authentically yourself. I think people are looking for more authenticity these days from people. And, just from talking to you before we, went live today, during the show, and even watching a few of your videos, I think that you come across as just so authentically Steve all the time. And I think that there's something really refreshing about that in a day and age where it feels like somebody's always trying to sell you something or something along those lines. I really appreciated that.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. That's really nice to hear. That's kind of along the same lines as another piece of advice giving to somebody who's starting their brand new YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Do that research and everything, but be honest. I have seen some YouTubers out there, unfortunately, even in my industry. I'm not going to mention any names, obviously, but I've seen some videos out there where the person is being absolutely dishonest.
Huh.
I know what he's doing, and he's telling somebody how to do something, and I know he's full of it. And people see that. People see right through that. If you're not being honest on your YouTube channel, you're kind of BSing your way through it, right?
Right.
People know that. People see right through it, and they won't subscribe to your channel. They'll never watch another one of your videos. So
I think
that's
that's
a big one.
yeah. I think that's really strong advice, and especially important in today's day and age when information is all over the place, and it can be hard for people to be discerning about what is true and what's not. And so, just being honest, being yourself, I think those are important things. Steve, obviously, if people Google Steve Small Engine Saloon, they'll find the YouTube channel. But where else can people get in touch with you? Give us your website, places like that where people can get in touch and that sort of thing.
I have. I really don't get involved with the other social medias. I'm just I'm a YouTube guy.
You're a YouTube loyalist.
Yeah, YouTube search Steve Small Engine Saloon, and that'll come up. Even if you just Google, literally, like I'm ranked pretty high on Google right now. Where if you just type in "my leaf blower doesn't run," well, I'll probably be one of the first videos that pop up at the top, so you can get to me that way. Website, yeah, stevesmallenginesaloon.com. Easy to remember, stevesmallenginesaloon.com. And that's how you can get in touch with me. As far as the other social media, I just don't really get into it too much. I don't know. I just don't. It seems like an awful lot of work.
Yeah. All right. Don't worry about the other ones.
The other way you can get in touch with me too, on my website, there's a tab at the top that says video suggestions. So
I like that.
You click on that, and a form comes up where you can type in, "Hey, Steve, I want to see you do this video." And I love that. That's really awesome when people fill that out. I get a lot of good ideas. What I would recommend to anybody who's going to fill in that form, though, check my playlists first to make sure I haven't already done the video.
It's a very good point.
I don't know why, but in the last 6 months or so, I'm getting a lot of those people fill out that form and saying, "Hey, Steve, I need you to put a video out on why my lawnmower won't start." And I'm like, I already did it. It's on my playlist. Yeah. But you can't respond. I can't respond back to that person to say, "Hey, it's in my playlist," because it's just a form. I have no way of contacting that person back. So, yeah.
So, good advice. Check the playlist before you drop.
Before you ask me to do the same video, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just scroll back in time a little bit, see if he's already done a video. If he hasn't, then drop him a note.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
That's what we'll do. We'll do. Steve McColman from Steve's Small Engine Saloon. Steve, it's been a blast getting a chance to learn a little bit more about you, talk to you about the channel, and also about what's going on in the industry right now. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. It's been a great time, man. This worked out way better than I thought it was going to, Tyler.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that. So everyone go subscribe to Steve's Small Engine Saloon if you haven't already. Let's get him over that 400,000 subscriber mark. And also, while you're at it, go subscribe to Walbro's podcast, Talkin Shop, on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Wherever you get your podcasts these days, go check out Walbro's website. They have podcasts there as well. Stay up to date with the latest in the industry from the experts at Walbro. So go follow Steve, go follow Walbro, and we'll all be happier for it. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Talkin Shop from Walbro. We appreciate it very much. Stay tuned for more episodes coming out soon, but until then, for my guest today, Steve McColman, I've been your host, Tyler Kern.
I hope you liked it, everybody. Fire up that comment section down underneath this video. Tell me what you think. And remember, constructive criticism is always welcome. Till the next time, guys and girls, Steve out.